No more yakety sax?
I mean, YouTube said, don't you dare try to benefit off yakety sax. I'm copywriting violation. Strike to your account or whatever. I
Man,
tried to delete that, the mute that section, and it went away. But it's kind of silly.
I really do enjoy saying Alexa and having everybody's device go off and they're all over the world. It feels really powerful.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh,
Brian Tidd's here. Patrick Bryan's here. Sethy's here. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jason. That is Tom. We are Finger Flicked in Box. We are like new, but we've been finger flicked for a week. And yeah, looking a little grayer. Tom's looking good, though. Look at that. He's got the swoop going. He's looking suave. Yep. What is it? Cold steel? Cool steel? Blue steel?
oh, yeah, blue steel.
Blue steel? You got the blue steel look.
Yeah.
Welcome to the jungle. Bill Booth, how you doing, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope you're well.
Now today I was I don't know why I was finding this very pleasing for the last couple of days, but I just like ran out of stuff I wanted to look at on the internet on my phone. But I was like,
you ran out of internet. You got to the
I
end of the
ran
internet.
out of the internet. So I was like, you know what? I have a lot of pictures and I get really annoyed whenever I'm trying to post like an old picture from my phone to Facebook. Like I have to scroll through 96,000 photos I had on my phone. So I was deleting them in mass, and I found some crazy old stuff from back in the day. That
You have 96,000 photos.
And now it's 81,000. I got rid of 15.
That's a lot of pictures.
It's
I'm
because
at
like
54,000, and I feel like I don't delete much.
It felt good getting rid of some of the stuff, but it was interesting. I had so many things screenshot from back in the day. Like way back in the, I had tons of screenshots of like people that like we got in fights with and had a ban, and I better document this or whatever. I'm like, I don't need this. See this ever. I don't want to think about this guy ever again. I'm deleting all these stupid screenshots I took. It felt really good, but I found, I don't know if you saw it, the worker logo, the fist of fury,
the Che.
The Che, yes. I found that logo and I had saved 3 times. So I deleted 2 of the times and favorited the other time so I can find it when I want again. But it's getting some good reaction in the group. A lot of members go back a long time now.
Yeah.
People were busting out piles of their swag in the comment section, and I was blown away.
You know who I missed? Quantavious Washington.
That's true.
It's not a show without Quantavious Washington.
For true.
Love you too, John, but Quantavious like brings the heat. I don't know what it is. SOA is my favorite Millie logo. Yeah, me too. You wouldn't believe how much aggravation we got over that logo.
Well, that's because you're going to get jumped, and
the 1%ers
watching out for you. Watching out for you.
Yes. So, guys, I was at the Christmas market in my town tonight, and there was probably 5,000 people there, and I noticed that there's a band coming to town. They're called Goatsy. I don't think they know what that means. I took that picture for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, guys, we have Tom and I have a lot to talk about. We've got a new knife that I haven't shown you yet that I've talked about ad nauseum in the group. The Cerberus Aurelius. I imagine he named this after Marcus Aurelius. Did you know, Tom, that Marcus Aurelius from Rome, one of the great minds of the world of all time, wrote a wonderful book, and Chris is always quoting it and talking about it. So I think he named this after his hero, Marcus Aurelius. I might be the most excited about this knife since, I don't know, since the Xenon maybe, or the Mini Arius. It's that good. It's a phenomenally good knife. So we can talk about that. We can talk about the new Extravert from Safe and Lock store. Frayden Locks has a new knife, the Extravert. I'll be doing a review of the features and details of this knife, and that one is from our friend Hope Tucker at Safe and Lock store. If you didn't know, they designed their own knife in house, and launched it about a week ago. So we'll talk about that. What else should we talk about, Tom? Talk about the Tiger? Should we talk about the Tiger? I mean,
I don't know.
it seems to be what everybody wants to talk about.
I just
Tiger.
We just haven't done a show for like over a month, and I was like, how can I tease people into possibly wanting to tune in?
It just so happens we haven't Tiger update, so it's not all for naught.
And finally, this is not a total tease anymore. We'll say that.
So just to recap real quick, Tom and I started this group when we had about 1,000 members. I said, Tom, I want an exclusive just for the club. And he was like, settle down. And I was like, don't want to, can't. And somewhere around 2,500 members, it started to feel like this was a possibility. We might actually be able to do it. Now, for those of you at home, you don't know, Spyderco only works through dealers. They don't work through independents. If you want to scrape together a bunch of money and buy a box of knives, they don't sell it to you. You got to buy through a dealer, or you pay full price at the store. So we partnered with a friend of ours that we had made through the club, in Jeff Loffer, and we said, hey, we have an idea for a knife. We'd like to like co-brand it and launch it. We would need you to buy it, and then we could help you talk about it and maybe offer something that's never been done before to the community. And he said, I love it. I want to do it. So since then, that was 2020, 2019.
It was back then. I remember the first time I met Eric Lesser was April 2019. I planted the seed. I said, I just want you to think about this one day. You might hear about this coming, that we might want to do an exclusive. So it's been cooking since back then, since 2019.
Yeah. So the idea was hatched. We should do a knife designed by the Millie Club and available to Millie Club guys. And along the way, it's been a wild experience. It's been a very long experience. It's something that Tom and I have teased out for 5 years, and it's been quite a conquest. And we've learned a lot about the knife world, the knife economy, the world of making knives, how difficult it is to do this project. And every exclusive that you guys come across from dealers, I have a new appreciation for how hard it's been to push those over the line as well. So it's been exciting, and there's been a lot of travails that I'm not going to get into, but I can say for sure that Spyderco has been a steadfast partner in this. They've wanted it as much as we have, and they've definitely been very mindful and thoughtful about you guys getting a quality product that you're going to be over the head over heels about. And Jeff's shepherding of the project, I can't overstate that. He has been integral in making sure that communication lines are clear and that updates come through. And tonight, Tom and I are very happy to tell you that we have two surprises. The first surprise is that we've told you previously there was going to be a satin finish and a DLC. Well, we're actually going to get 4 knives, not 2. You're going to get a Warncliffe Blade PM2 in addition to a drop point, and they'll each be available in satin and in DLC. So we've been told, and we're allowed to say, that the satin finish drop point and the satin finish Warncliffe are both ready. They're done. So the next step is going to be Spyderco preparing some marketing. So Eric himself is going to do a quick video about the knife. We have that to yet to be seen. Some samples are going to come to Cutlery Shop, and then Tom and I will be able to show them on camera. We intend to have Jeff on to talk with us about the knife, and we'll tell you some stories. We've decided to hold back some of the information about the knife because we're not sure we're allowed to tell you yet. Spyderco likes to be the one to deliver the news about their known knives first. And I'd love to tell you everything about it, but I understand their point. So the next step is going to be the samples landing in Jeff's lap. He's going to share them with Tom and I next week. Hopefully, wouldn't that be nice? Next week, we might have the samples. We might have to wait till January. But in the next week or two, we should have samples of the Warney and the drop point and satin finish. In 90 days or more, I'm not going to guess. Later, we're going to get the DLC, and there's a lot of exciting news about the DLC that you don't know, that no one's seen before. We haven't either. And then there's also news about the G10, and there's news about the blade steel. And we're not going to tell you that yet. Sorry, you're going to have to wait. We need to let Spyderco reveal all those secrets.
Would you say the blade steel people will be excited for at least?
I know for a fact that this crowd is going to be very happy.
Okay.
It's also true to say that this blade steel has never been made in Golden, Colorado. Now, a few years ago, Tom and I cheated, and we shared the chemical composition of the steel on a coin, and you guys cracked the code and figured out M398. I can tell you that it's not M398. For reasons I can't get into, Spyderco decided that they didn't think that steel was the right steel for that knife. And they said, we need to rotate to a different option. So they gave us a second option, and we are over the moon about what they let us have. It was something that I didn't think would ever happen.
I know we've teased this for so long that it doesn't seem real. And I still, until I'm holding it, I'm not going to believe it all the way.
I've gotten pretty defeatist about it. I've gotten beaten down to the point where I didn't want to talk about it until I held it. But I can tell you that I really feel confident that at this point it's real, and I can talk about it. So I suppose it is teasing Daniel Baker, but it's also respecting Spyderco's wishes. They are very traditional and old school about that. I know a dealer once that got an advanced copy of one of their exclusives and took pictures of it and published them before Spyderco was able to publish theirs, and they were very upset. And I don't see any reason to make them upset. So I'm willing to play by the rules here.
We'll say the contact I have for the Spyderco ambassador program, he works in their marketing department. They are aware of how big of a deal this is going to be. They know this is going to be like possibly the biggest drop ever, or up there. It's going to be, the excitement level behind this is going to be very high, and Spyderco is preparing for this. And so we definitely don't want to like overstep the bounds on this yet, but they know this is going to be cool. And
will it be bigger than Pochi?
I mean, no, not possible.
No. One, you did say one of, I suppose.
One of.
Yeah.
They are expecting this to be huge. And if the mothership's expecting to be huge, that bodes well.
It's funny you should ask that question. As I sit here today, I honestly don't know. There was a number that we discussed right at the onset of COVID. And then there was a time where the entire world seemed to be made of money and everybody was buying exclusives. And it was really tempting to double the order because at that time, everybody was running out of special orders. There's a PM2 exclusive out there, guys, where they ordered 2,000 of them and they still sold out in like a day and a half. So if you can move 2,000 knives in a day and a half, why not order 2,000 knives? So there was a time where it felt like that was the right choice. And since then, it feels like a different kind of community, doesn't it? Like we don't sit on the edge of our chairs waiting for the next exclusive drop the way that it feels like we did a few years ago. So I'm not sure how many we're getting. My guess is it's not going to be, I don't know.
It's not a small number. We know that. It's not like a St. Nick size drop.
I think there's probably going to be a fair amount of like, we did our best and these aren't doable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's possible.
So I don't know. We don't know how many. Thanks, Matt Parker. Natalie Joy. We have tried to bring you guys the most truthful answers we can when we can. And sometimes things happen. There was a time where, Spyderco had some really serious issues with the production of these knives, and they had to they had to take another running stab at it, and it causes delays, and that's okay. But we've got a couple upgrades on this thing that are coming that are going to be super cool, and I think it's going to be worth the wait.
I will say I'm glad, not just because of all the things that have evolved out of this whole process, that I'm glad we didn't rush it out. I'm glad it didn't get pushed into the market when there was 20 other exclusives dropping at the same time. It's kind of like this will be a nice time frame. I still feel very strong about drops and them doing well. Stuff is still selling out. Stuff is still moving. People might not time stuff and sit down and click on their keyboards at the exact same moment anymore, but it's still a very, very active community, and people are still excited when new cool things come out, as long as there's something that's exciting about them. And I think Spyderco has done a good job lately on their exclusives of offering a little bit of extra cool factor on just about everything. And it's not the back in the days where just different color, whatever. Things are a little bit different now. Like they stand apart.
So this is a 15V. It's going to be the standard drop point. So just I call it the drop point, but it's the regular blade. And then the other one will be the Warney. Matt brought up something, tie handles. We really talked about that in the beginning, and we wanted that. But the thing that disqualified it was we wanted a knife that everybody could afford. And keeping this G10 meant that we could keep the price down. And that felt more important than building the bougiest thing ever. Like we could have gone with Thor Damasteel and titanium handle and just made a sick PM2, but it would have been a $500 knife, maybe more. So
besides, if we had factory titanium handles, you're going to want to put your own titanium handles on it anyway.
That's the other part, Tom. You're right. There's a lot of other tie makers out there that can put really killer scales on it. So I think this might be one that you guys are going to leave stock in factory because it's pretty sweet. Hi, welcome to the Millie Club. I'm Jason, and that is Tom. And we, on our little show here, are talking about a exclusive PM2. It's going to be dropped at cutleryshop.com. And it is the Millie Club exclusive. So it's a knife that Tom and I designed with Jeff Lawfer at Cutlery Shop. And it's going to be available most likely in January for the satins, and then TBD for the DLC.
I like it. I'm liking this.
Put in 2 D10 balls so we can delete one. That's a really good idea. We should include an extra D10 ball so you guys can just throw it over your shoulder onto the carpet. Sunbeam Tiger car themed, like how the Edgerati is car themed. That's a good idea.
Or Spyderco is even car themed.
Maybe Tiger from You Only Live Twice. He was part of like the Japanese CIA. He helps James. You haven't seen it? Oh.
No. Come on now. Come on.
He had the best voice in movies. He sounded like that. In Japan, men come first. Like that.
I was just trying to go through my little dump tray here looking for the coin. But man, we've had this emoji has been on the coin since 2021 coin, I think.
Let me find one.
I have the 2020 coin right here.
Yeah, it was the 2021 coin.
Yeah, it's been on. We've been
sometime in 2020, 2021, Tom started coming up with the idea of emojiing exclusives because it was easier than trying to type it all. And it was really amusing to just assign emojis. And it's usually based on the color or the mood or the attitude of the knife. And so,
kind of like the general vibe. It's just like, what kind of vibe does it give off? And the tigers are the coolest animal, so we had to save it for ourselves.
If you have the 2021 coin on the back at 12 o'clock, it's got a tiger. And what really made me laugh was we had all those emojis around the coin, but no one ever asked about the 12 o'clock tiger. It didn't seem to stand out until we pointed it out.
They did notice the the chemical around the edge of the other coin, though.
Yep.
Man,
The element 115 really bothered everybody.
Tiger, it's been around. It's been around. It's going to be good to see this come to fruition.
We talked about laser logoing on the blade, like the Bayou shooter knife. And I wasn't a fan of it because I want this knife to sit next to all the other PM2s and look like it belongs there. I didn't want it to stand out because of a club logo. And in hindsight, I'm really glad that's the way it worked out, because we changed the logo since we've designed the knife. And if it had the old logo on it, I'd be bummed out. So I'm pretty glad we didn't do that. It's going to look like all the other knives, but it'll still have features on it that will be remind you of the club. I rarely think laser engraving on a blade looks good. It almost always looks bad. I see guys get knives with their name on it, or their son's name, or wedding dates, and I'm glad it means something to you, but to me, I haven't. It's like tattoos. Tattoos look good on your arm, but I haven't found a tattoo I want on my arm. I don't have a single tattoo, and I'm down to get one if I can find one I like. But I feel that way about the knife blade. If there's lettering on it, I don't love it. So I like a clean blade, and I was worried, like, what if it said Spyderco Millie PM2 Pair 3 Club in like Comic Sans, and then it's like, hey, we made 2,000. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, I have 2 knives that I had laser engraved from where I used to work, and it was kind of cool to have that knife when I worked there. Hey, guess what I do with those knives now? They go in a box. I don't even want to look at them because I don't even want to think about working there anymore. And it's just like, it's laser engraved. It's kind of like
on the back of the toilet, turd knife.
Kind of like, I can't sell it. I'm stuck with this knife now.
Yeah. That was a pretty good idea. That was a pretty good idea.
Oh,
maybe we could get a couple. Maybe we could get a little tiger on
that. I was about to say. I thought. Now I'm trying to remember if this is a secret or not. If we're doing this,
maybe it would fit right there.
Yeah, I seem to remember something about that now.
The conversation has been had. There's been no commitment.
Yeah.
Would you guys want a tiger on the blade, like the Scorpion? We know a guy. All right, so we're not saying no. At this point, not sure.
Hell yeah. Brian Tidd. If Brian Tidd says hell yeah. Can't disappoint the man.
Matt Parker wants a plain Jane. See, I'm like, I don't want all tigers. I don't want that tiger. I want the tiger from the iPhone emoji. That's the tiger I want. I want it to be the emoji, because that's true to the game, right? We're supposed to be doing emojis.
And not the Android version of that, whatever it looks like. It's
whatever
different.
That probably looks like a house cat.
Yeah.
Sit, rewind, Dave. You'll be right.
Before this gets too lost on here, yes, tiger is the best animal. And this hoodie is an American Giant Classic hoodie in the color Poppy. And I might have just bought a second one to put in my closet for later in case this one wears out, because this is discontinued now. So I bought extras like last week. So now I will always have this wonderful color available. I can wear this one freely and not worry about it, because I was wearing this the other day and I had it in my shopping cart I got a big old stain on this, and I was like, that's it. I'm buying another one because I don't think I'll ever have a chance again. I love this thing.
You know what I'm sure about? You're going to have an opportunity to buy more sweatshirts.
But not this exact color.
A red rocket pink.
Yes, red rocket pink. I like that. I like that.
That's a little gift for you South Park fans. So let's move on, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Why don't we talk about the Aurelius from Cerberus Knives?
Do it up. Looks like a fun knife.
We've tried for many years to get Chris to come on the show, and he's either bashful or he's busy. So last week was his birthday, couldn't make it. He had very fabulous plans with his girl and couldn't make it. So we hope to have him on, but at some point we're going to talk about the Aurelius with Chris. This is a titanium handle. Currently it's an S60V blade. This knife is made in Southern California, 100% in Southern California. Chris and his buddy Alex have designed, engineered, and manufactured this all by themselves. So the titanium handles are pinstriped, which is very hard to pick up on the camera, but there's a beautiful like 45-degree angle pinstriping on the titanium. Chris has learned a lot about finishing tie, so he's done a really interesting blast or tumble on this titanium. So it's very smooth to the touch and has a nice color. And it doesn't seem to scratch, Tom. I've carried this for 3 weeks now, maybe a month, every day, and right next to my keys, and there's no snail trails in it. Nice. A lot of knives out there that snail trail the second you look at it, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
This S60 blade is a cool steel. It's like a Mama Bear steel to S30V and S90V. It's between the two. It has more stainlessness than 30V, and it's better edge retention. So more vanadium than you'll find in 30V. So really cool knife. The behind the edge thickness, I think, is 24 thou, which is in the range of a PM2. So pretty slicey. You got two ways to make a blade. You can grind it or you can step mill it. Chris is using a step milling process. So the blade is actually milled in a CNC machine. So similar to what you might see on a Steingraber knife on the Lamia or on anything from Grimsmo. Those are all milled. The profile of the knife is incredible, I have to say. Right. Like, it might be a little bit thicker front to back than some knives, but it's curved.
Yeah.
And in the hand, it's fantastic. So
it looks
even though
contoured for sure,
it's more or less the size of a PM2, but the handle is much nicer in the hand. It has a really comfortable grip. And I think the thickness is what makes it really nice for big hands. Chris has big hands. So I think he spent a lot of time like printing a copy and holding it and holding it and holding it and making sure that it's comfortable in the hand. If you like the look of it, but you wish for something different than a drop point, I got news for you. Chris also designed a second knife that's called the Virgil. And he and Alex are making that knife as well. And it's more of a sheep's foot Warney style knife. And It's a little bit longer. So it's a little bit bigger. Warney tip, sheep's foot, I should say. It's a sheep's foot tip. And it's being marketed by Hephaestus Knife Works. So Hephaestus is Alex's company and Cerberus is Chris's company. So basically they each have a design and they're basically like cousin knives. So if you like the look of it but wished for a little bit different of a tip or maybe a little bit bigger, look at the Virgil. So really cool. Chris has a CNC of his own. He's able to do a lot of it himself. The wire EDM work on the back where the lock bar is something that he can't do in his own garage. You need an EDM for that. So luckily Alex has one. So they're sort of helping each other out, right? Alex
that reveal is very thin, isn't it? The between the lock bar and this.
It's stupid thin. There's something else too, Tom. Watch the size of the line as I open the blade. It actually gets smaller.
Yeah.
And when I close it, it gets bigger. Chris has engineered a force into the blade that pulls it in this direction. And what that does is it increases the snappiness of the detent. So when you go to open the knife, it doesn't false start, but if you flip it, it will open. So it gives you a stiff, firm detent that's not unpleasant. So it's almost like the lock bar is sucking the blade into the knife, and that's a trick that a lot of knife makers don't know how to do. But one of Chris's buddies knows how to do that, and I think he probably spent a lot of time engineering that into his knife.
How many of these knives exist in the wild at this point?
I don't know the number. Probably less than 20.
Okay.
He
did
make them,
some
he
limited.
can make them in batches of 13, I think.
He did a release the other day that was like an auction piece, right? Is that this knife I'm thinking about? He did an auction on this one with a different scale.
Yeah, that's something funny. He's got a couple of show pieces that he's auctioning right now, and they use a top scale made out of a spun glass material that Chris found, and it is gorgeous. He's actually using it in the using it here in the pivots, but he decided to make some scales out of it. And when he and I were having a conversation on the phone, and he was like, I really don't even know what to price these at. And I said, are they easy to make or hard to make? And he goes, bro, they're really, really fucking hard. And I'm like, well, how long does it take to make one? He goes, 4 hours of machining time. I have to cut it super slow, and I have to cut it super shallow, and it burns out my end mills. It's just I'm throwing away tools every time I make one. And I said, well, how long does it take to make a titanium one? And he goes, I can make 12 in 2 hours. When Jesus, it's like, what is that? Like 30 times slower. So, it's a lot harder to make. And so those, I don't know that he's going to keep doing those. I think he's got 3. So he had the turquoise and the black, and I think there's one other color. And once those are done, I don't know that we'll see any more of those, but they look really cool. Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with S60V, go look it up. It's neat steel.
So has he been doing drops for the few he's released, or how?
Yeah, he's whipping them up in batches, and then he's putting them on his website. If you want to get one, you should go to Cerberus Knives on Instagram and follow him. You should definitely go to his website and sign up for his email blasts. Instagram and Facebook are pretty unreliable for advertising things. So Chris is pretty reliable with his emails. He doesn't spam you either. So great way to know when something's coming.
What's the price point on those?
This one was $715. Nice. So when I think about the price of that, that's going to be less than an Arius Mini. Yeah. It's going to be in range with like a tricked out CRK. It's in the same price point as a Lamia. I think those are $770. Could be wrong on that. So we're in the price range of what they call a mid, like a, what is that, mid tech?
Yeah, it's cheaper than Rosie, right?
Yeah, right in the range of a Rosie. But given the time and the milling and the detail and the handle, I think Chris is competing. And I couldn't be more proud of the guy, because coming out of the gate and making a knife of this quality, and I have like his 10th knife and they're this good now. It's crazy. Usually guys, like, they start out fine, but they get better over time. I definitely have nothing bad to say about the early Rosies from Oz Machine Company, but everyone would agree that he's gotten better and better, right? And it's normal to get better at the thing you do. But Chris just came right out of the gate hitting homers. So pretty exciting.
And first time I met Chris in person, he was showing me just in his phone, like he's got so many knife designs, and he spent so much time working on the digitally working on the mechanics of how stuff works and tolerances and seeing how all these things work. So he's got he's produced knives with other manufacturers before that weren't his own, but he has a lot of practice designing knives.
This was one of his first designs. This is the Arian, and it's made by Artisan Cutlery. So the Arian, when you hold it next to his new knife, you'll notice like a couple design elements that are similar, but for the most part, Chris just makes really good knives. His knife designs are great, easy to hold, comfortable in the hand. They perform well, they cut well. They tend to favor larger hands, but really just fantastic knives. The Arian was available in a bunch of flavors. You could get a liner lock or a tie lock. You could get micarta. You could get all titanium. So a lot of versions of that one out there. Mine is 20 CV, but they also did a lot of 35 VN. So a lot of Arians out there. There is an artisan model that Chris designed. I can't remember the name of it. It's currently available right now. It's bigger than this one. And then he also has a design with Jack Wolf knives.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So he's getting around, man. The guy's, believe he's friends with Ray Lacanio, and I can tell that Chris is really inspired by the way Ray just keeps putting out cool designs. You know, you can put one knife out and live on it forever, or you can just keep peppering him out there. Ray's good at that.
Yeah.
Rosie's more like a USA production, not even a mid-tech, in my opinion, anymore. If you guys follow on Instagram, the Oz Machine Company, they just moved to their new facility, and it's really exciting to watch them go. But yeah, they have a lot more capacity, and you can tell that he's going to keep buying machines. They have a Swiss lathe, Tom.
Yeah.
They've got 3 of the brother Speedios. But I imagine what we're going to see next is more machines for Oz Machine Company. Definitely larger batches for sure. I think they're over 4,000 made now.
Oh yeah, I think I thought someone was saying 4,500 there a day of the regular Rosie. But that market's crazy. That we'll see how that goes. Keeps on going. People keep on buying them up.
Chris, by the way, also makes really good folding or fixies. He's been making fixies for quite a while. Those are ground by him and done in-house. And yeah, his fixed blades are cool. They're all really nice sizes and very fun. The Satyr, thank you. It is the Satyr. I need to get one. They look really awesome. I never handled one at Blade. Did you handle one?
I forgot those existed. I saw it, and I remember not knowing how I felt about the fake finger cutout that was there but wasn't there, and then I kind of forgot that it existed. I don't know. It never really struck a chord with me like needing one. If I want an Oz, I just get a folding one.
I was asked the other day for advice on a fixed blade. There's a maker he was like, well, I want you to look at it and tell me what you think. And I was like, I'm the wrong guy. It's funny. It's still a knife, but I'm just utterly unqualified to talk about fixed blades.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know fixed blades. I don't know those grandpa knives with the Indian heads on the side, or the Indian, or were they arrowheads?
Yeah. Yes. The arrowheads.
Arrowheads. I don't know anything about those. I don't know anything about the grandpa.
Do you get
knives.
random DMs ever? It's like, how much is this knife worth? And it'll be something like
all the time.
I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I can't.
I tell them to ask you.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Is it a limited run spider coat? No, then I can't help you. I don't know.
It's part of the fun of this hobby. You think you can have it mastered. You mastered 5% of it. Good job. One of my favorite things to do is walk the little tables at Blade, and you see all those old guys that have been whittling knives for 50, 60 years, and then go into the show is like the highlight of their year. They bring a dozen knives that they spent all year making. Yeah. And the passion and the attention to detail they put into those is jaw dropping. And but it's something I'm never compelled to want to buy one because they're so not my style. It's nothing I would carry. So
I think my biggest disconnect from that is like well, I didn't grow up with a dad who had an old slip joint that he passed on to me or taught me how to use my first thing. I didn't have a grandpa that had a knife. That my first knives were Spyderco's and Kershaw, so it's like that's what I know.
When I worked at the guitar shop, our phone would ring nonstop with people asking dumb questions, and I mean dumb. And my favorite thing to do was when they would ask me something that was really absolutely a waste of my time. I would say, "Boy, sir, you got me stumped there. I don't know anything about that. That's nothing we do. No, sir, we don't do business with those guys. But I know who does. Let me give you his number." And I would give him the name and phone number of a guy that I couldn't stand that worked at another store that I didn't like. And I would tell him to call that guy. I'd be like, he's real good. So folks would be like, yeah, I got one of them zithers, from the 1800s. My mama brought it on a wagon and it needs to be tuned up. Would you tune it for me for free? Yeah, I won't, but I know who can. So Adam Stambaugh, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
Well, Jason, I was thinking about this today. Like, when was the last time I bought a knife? And I think the last time I purchased a knife was in June. And I was like, that's been the longest time I've ever gone since I've ever bought my first knife. I've gone without buying a knife, but I'm so satisfied with what I have that it's okay. That Aurelius looks pretty tempting, but right now I'm really happy with everything I have. So I've just been kind of trying to nerd out on my stones. Is what my new knife obsession stuff is. I got really into my stones for sharpening. So I got
sidebar. I think you would love the Aurelius, but you would not get along with the thumb stud.
I love the way that knife looks. I know. I love the way that knife looks. I'll wait for the Spidey hole version one day. So
yeah, sharpening stones are definitely interesting. When I first started at this, I didn't appreciate the differences in them, and now I'm on my third or fourth different type of stone, fifth different type of stone, and I'm realizing that spending the little extra money and getting the good one is worth it. It is not worth shortcutting on stones for sure.
No. And so I guess I'm trying to remember last episode if they'd been in the group yet, but Hapstone is now in the group and participating and getting good feedback. And I love to see that because of all the things I've bought in the knife hobby, my favorite purchase ever, I've said this many times, is this stone right here, a Hapstone Premium CBN 150 grit stone that I used to profile my edges with. And I used to go through the typical set that they sell. It's 150, or it starts at 80, but I don't use my 80. 150, 400, 800, 2000, 5000. And I get nice, pretty looking mirrors. I was very happy with them. That's what I've been doing with these stones for like 2 or 3 years now. But I started like, I kind of want some more grits. I kind of want some more in between ones. So now I got a whole plethora of stones.
Very nice.
My mirrors, they be popping. They are shiny now, and they're really sharp. I'm getting a little more fine-tuned with getting very, very sharp. So I got these Hapstone Premium CBNs, and now I can run through all 11 of these stones and get a really cool mirror. But I always get asked about stones, and I always, these are expensive, and I don't necessarily, not everyone needs to spend $80 on a stone for a set if you're just sharpening once in a while. And I've heard Hapstone makes another stone, the Start series. And I've heard people recommending these for a long time, but I could only recommend them out of reputation. I had no experience. So I wanted to try them. So they actually, as a thank you, sent me these as a Christmas present, a set of the Start CBNs. And I will tell you, these stones make steel disappear. Like this, the premiums cut great, but these aren't broken in yet fully either. So I have to preface that. This is the 150. I mean, it just demolishes an edge. It just these are plated CBN stones, so they're not the same as a premium CBN, which is metallic bonded. So this is a big block of metal with CBN particles in it, and these are just plated like a typical, like a KME stone would be. These are supposed to last about 100 knives or so, but it's nice to now have this option, and I can recommend this product now as having used it. It gives killer edges, very, very sharp edges, and no time at all. Very clean. They're great. I really like them. So my problem now is I got excited and sharpened everything, and it's been slow for more sharp. I am like out of shit to sharpen. I have a Shirogorov sitting behind my monitor right now and one other box, but I need some more knives because I got all these fun stones to try out, and I busted out everything, and now I'm like, well, now what? Now I need some more stuff. So if you're watching this and want some knife sharpening with some really cool new stones, send them to More Sharp, and I'll even do it on the channel because it's been a minute since I've sharpened live, and I kind of miss it. And now I got these new stones to dry off. I want to make some content. But yeah, these have been really keeping my interest in the hobby. Is other parts of it. It's weird I'm super excited for the Tiger, but honestly, there's nothing else on my list now that I've handled tons of stuff coming into sharpen that I'm really like aching for. So it's a weird feeling for me as a person who has an addictive collective personality to just be satisfied with what they have for once. But it is
only you could reach that zen-like state with your sweatshirts.
I think I'm getting close. I'm getting close. If I get the reset zen-like state with sweatshirts, it'd be great. But no, it's really fun being able to take my sharpening up to the next level and have something to be excited about in the knife hobby still.
I'm still finding that I'm getting better every knife. And yeah. It's hard to pick up a knife that I sharpened 3 months ago and still be happy with the edge because I've gotten better since I did it.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because like I want to show off my edges to friends or something, or my dad. I'm always interested in impressing my father. How do I impress him? And I hand him a knife that's got a mirror edge on it that's stupid sharp, and he sees that. Like that makes me feel good. But there are times where I'll have a knife in my pocket and I want to show it to him, and I go, no, don't show him. That one's, you're way better than that one now. So I don't know. I'm okay with that because that means I'm still getting better, right? And if you're still getting better and you're still improving at your game, that's where you want to be in life. You want to continue improvement. So pretty exciting. Tom, if somebody wants to talk to you about getting some knives to you, should they DM you?
Yeah, just shoot me a DM on Facebook or Instagram. I will. Yeah, but don't message me on here because I don't even know how to check that. But yeah, shoot me a DM on Facebook or Instagram. A typical edge is $24 for most knives, and that includes if there's damage, minor damage. But most typical knives, like a PM2 with a little chip on the edge or that's very dull, whatever, I'll take care of for $24. And if you want a mirror, it's $32. And if you send me a bunch of knives, I can do some discounts.
Do you like sharpening 15V, Tom?
I kind of love sharpening 15V, and I don't think it's too far-fetched to say I may have sharpened more 15V than anybody I know of because I sharpen a lot of it. I get more 15V knives sent to me than anything else, and I love it. It's a great steel. It's not hard to sharpen. It's very enjoyable, and you get great results. Like very sharp edge, very clean mirror, and it's fast, and it profiles great. A lot of the 15V, especially the early ones like the Manixes, I was getting in to fix the edges on because the factory, especially on the Manixes, did some pretty horrendous bevels, but they're fixable. They're all fixable, and every 15V I've had come through looks awesome when it's done.
I'm going to say it again. I think the thing you need to buy next is a best tester.
It's for sure on my list. Like
that took me from decent to awesome.
Yeah.
Really taking a knife I was real proud of and measuring it and going, shit, I'm at 300. Yeah. I spent 24 hours doing that edge 6 times, and it's duller than when it left the factory. What am I doing with my life? I need to figure this out. So that answered a lot of questions about my technique and whether I was doing it right. And was I paying attention to the little details? It turns out there were a lot of little details that I wasn't managing for and accounting for, and it was leading to edges that looked really good, but they were not so sharp.
Yeah.
So, and ultimately, why are we here? It's cut stuff. Why don't we talk about the extrovert?
Yeah.
I intend to do a video on this knife that you'll be able to see on our YouTube channel. I've already done one on the Aurelius. If you're interested in the Aurelius and you want to hear more about it, I recorded a video at like 1 a.m. I was just like, I got to do it. So I put all my thoughts down. It took like 5 tries to get one where I could do it all together. And I don't like editing, so it's all one take. So there's a couple flaws in there. But if you want to learn about the Aurelius, it's on the channel. I will have one soon for the extrovert. So this knife is designed by Safe and Lock Store. So Safe and Lock Store is a knife store in where are they? Syracuse, New York. And our friend Hope Tucker is the owner of the business. This is the sticker inside the box, Tom, with the details about the steel and about the knife. One of the guys that works there, Ed, is he's a genius, really, when it comes to knives. He is a super smart, thoughtful, interesting guy. He's very shy. He won't come on the show. He's supposedly not camera ready. But he designed a knife, and he and Hope decided to bring it to market. So this is called the Extrovert. This knife is a very unconventional knife. I'm going to get it right out there. This is not your normal knife, and that's kind of very deliberate. Like, there's a lot of drop point looking buck knife wannabe knives out there, and there's a lot of drop point, Spyderco looking knives, right? So this is something that's very, very different. The Extrovert has a very thin blade. I think it's 105 thou.
Oh, wow.
So it's much thinner than your typical blade stock. It has a beautiful stone washed and then polished edge, or polished and stone washed. And it's an LMAX blade steel. Really cool compound grind that you don't see often. And then the handle is has this really cool titanium texturing to it on the handle here. And then there's this line that's been milled in to give it like a faux bolster look. I like the pivot. I like the look of the pivot there. And then the thumb studs are like a hexagonal pattern. No, octagonal, which is something I've never seen before. I think Ed designed like every little detail on this knife, including the screws.
Yeah, the screws are really cool, actually.
If you look inside the screws, there's a flower there. And you guys have been around, Safe and Lock Store. Hope's little emoji is a sunflower. She's a flower girl. And right here on the thumb flipper, you can see Ed's maker's mark. And on the back side, it says LMAX. And they very deliberately designed it so that when you open the knife, everything disappears. So there's no logos or anything on the knife. I would say this is not a knife for everybody. This is not every man's knife. But I hear all the time from people in the group that they want something different. They're tired of the same old crap. They're tired of the same knives. Why do we have 82 PM2s in different colors? And they get annoyed and angry every time a new one comes out like that. Well, this is your chance to buy something different. This is a very different type of knife. It's very slicey. The behind the edge is very thin. This is going to really be a good slicer for you. The different, unusual type of blade shape is just going to catch a lot of eyes. And you have 2 grip options. You can hold on to it back here, or you can choke up on it. I'm finding that I like a pinch grip when I hold this knife. Makes it more comfortable. It has a tasteful amount of jimping, Tom. Tasteful.
Did you say who made that? Who was the maker of that? The manufacturer?
So the original manufacturer is Riyadh.
Heard of them.
Hope said a feature is that you can stand it up on its end. And she's right. Every time I have one of my Brian Brown Jaegers, I want to take a picture of it, and I can't because it won't sit there. It falls over. Right?
I knew exactly what you were about to say.
What I mean? It's really annoying. This knife will stand on this end. It'll stand on this end. It'll stand upside down. So I believe it comes in 4 styles. So there's a satin finish, Not satin. It's the tumbled polished blade. There's also a DLC. It comes in left-handed. If you're a lefty out there like me,
wow.
and you want a lefty, there's your chance to support a dealer that believed in you enough to order some lefties. So definitely cool. So I'll do a more in-depth review of that coming up as soon as I get some time, and we'll post it here. I feel dirty every time I read that, but yeah, it's been said before. I believe Lefty EDC did a review of it, and he described that feature same way you did.
Classy.
So yeah, it's got, you can get up on it like a Casey and the Sunshine Band song.
Mhm.
There you go. So that is the extrovert. Oh, also, Tom, it came with a sticker.
Ooh,
Kind of got me all excited.
stickers.
Let me find it.
Love a good sticker.
There it is. I was like, Hope, is that you in high school? She's like, no. I wish I looked like that in high school. I'm like, I'm going to say it was you in high school. So if you want a sticker of Hope Tucker in high school, looking all like Rosie the Riveter, holding that's a Mannix, holding a Mannix. There you go.
Well, of course, it's
Get you a sticker.
their most famous exclusive, the Mannix.
Yeah. Yep. Can we talk about something that's kind of on my mind? It's been going on in the group.
Do it. Hit it up.
I'm not impressed when people complain about things that are just, they don't need to be said. I'll give you an example. If we were running a pickup truck forum for work trucks, and somebody complained about the ride quality, how tolerant would we all be of complaints about the ride quality of a work truck? It's a work truck. What'd you think you were buying? It's not a BMW. It just isn't. It's not a Cadillac. It's a work truck. So when guys complain about the edge retention being crappy on a knife that doesn't have good edge retention because of this blade steel, I don't understand what the complaint's about. I'm really mystified, Tom, why it seems like it's been going that way in a couple of different directions lately. Guys are really getting angry about things that aren't worth getting mad about. What's in the water, Tom?
I have adjusted how I react to some things, and I just don't comment on a lot of posts anymore that just drive me bananas, because I don't want to get involved, and I don't want to make a stance, and I don't want to get in a fight with somebody.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple posts in the last couple months that I could not hold my tongue anymore, or I could not handle the amount of negativity that they were bringing with these expectations, or not even expectations, just trying to ruffle feathers over things that, I don't know. Like, no shit.
I think there's debate, and then there's like, you're just poking the bear on purpose.
Like if you start a 3-part series of negative posts.
Yeah, I think some of these dudes are like, hey man, watch this. And then they just start throwing kerosene on the fire with like the one guy that got loose about the quality control at Spyderco. He was very angry about it. And everybody kept saying, what happened? And he had no examples. Well, it's well documented. Okay, well, what happened to you? He had nothing to say.
He's been carrying a Koenig for a year.
Right. He's been carrying a Koenig for a year. You know what will change your opinion about a lot of different brands? Carrying a Koenig. You guys haven't tried one? Try it. Carry one. You will change your mind about, you won't buy any more Kershaws, I promise. So nothing wrong with the Kershaw. They're fantastic. But you won't buy one after you have a Koenig. Anyway, if you have something to say and you have a point of view and you want to share it, do it. But if you're just bitching to bitch, man, like, the world's hard. There's a lot of hard strife going on in the world right now. I don't know that we need you just bitching because you want to be a jerk. So it feels like there's some of that vibe going on. I hope that goes away.
If you're starting a post with, this is my part 3 of a series of posts about the exact same thing that's going to ruffle people's feathers, don't be surprised if we don't need you in the group anymore after that.
Andy Smith says that they need a They need an extrovert. Yep. I think he's right. I don't know.
I mean, I will give him credit.
Opinion: pickup trucks ride rough. Okay.
The every Spyderco should be a second.
I was talking to Rich Cox about something the other day. You know, I called him up and we were talking about this topic, and somebody got really mad about a Techno 2, and it was described as a $400 knife, and it should be better than that. And I thought to myself,
yes.
Let me explain the economics to you guys. A retail price $400 knife, streets at $260. It costs the dealer $200. The dealer pays $200 for a $400 retail price knife. This manufacturer sells it for probably 20% of that price. So 20% of 200 is $40. That's what that's what it cost them to make it. So you think about that knife was made in Taiwan, and then it was boxed and it was shipped all the way across the world to Golden, and then it was distributed. And they did all that profitably at $40. So I'm sorry somebody didn't spend 40 minutes putting a beautiful edge on it, but that's not part of the economics of a knife in that price range. And if you decide that a $400 knife should be perfect out of the box, that's you deciding that and ignoring the economics of the world. It's not really realistic to expect that. And from what I could tell by looking at the photos, it didn't look perfect.
I held my tongue on that post because I didn't want people to say I have low expectations, but I was like, I didn't see anything fucking wrong with it. Like,
I think it could have been better, but it also wasn't the worst I've seen. It wasn't the worst I've seen. It
didn't warrant a million comments as like, I'm just going to stay out of this one.
I handled a $1,000 knife the other day, and I went to sharpen it, Tom, and it was 29 degrees per side. Yeah, and it was very dull.
Yeah,
it was a $1,000 knife.
I mean,
that Spyderco with the wonky edge is sharp as shit.
Yeah, it is. And compared to a lot of knives that like, there's few knives that come in, like very few, like CRKs always have perfect looking bevels from the factory. It's a $500 to $700 knife though, and it's made in the United States, and it's very simple for that $500 to $700 knife, but they do the parts of that knife very well.
They've been building it for 30 years also, by the way. So they just gets a little better every year.
Koenig has a perfect looking bevel. First one I got was dull as shit. I had to sharpen it. Not saying they all are that way, but not every knife is going to be perfect. But like a Hinderer or a Strider or a what's the name of the ones that have all the engraving on them? They have lots of engraving. Spartan Harsey. Like those like there's expensive knives with edges that look like crap compared to that Techno look.
Yeah.
And they cost a lot more money.
This is really funny. If you're on a CRK experience paying a CRKT price. So it's not excuse making to say that edge was acceptable. And it's a matter of opinion whether or not it was acceptable to you. So that to the person who posted that, I understand what you're saying. But to everybody who was wanting to go fetch the pitchforks and go burn down the factory because they viewed this as some sort of like crime against humanity, you got to calm down. You're being silly. It's not that big a deal. A guy like Tom can sharpen it in no time. TRMs are always sharp. Yes, they are.
Sometimes people blame. I'm not saying this was necessarily the example with the way that Techno was, but from what I saw on that example, it looked like the bevel wasn't the same width the entire length of the blade. That's all I could tell was wrong with it.
That was it.
Some people don't understand this aspect of edges. Is edges can only exist on how a blade's ground, and sometimes you want your edge to look a certain way, but the way a blade is ground won't allow you to have a perfect looking edge, and that's just the physics of how a knife is ground. Like some knives get fat at the tip because the blade gets fat at the tip.
There's a feature called a distal taper. The distal taper is the thickness of the knife getting skinnier as you get towards the tip from the back of the knife to the front of the knife. So it's important to have a taper to the tip because the edge is going to get fatter as it comes up to the spine if the spine doesn't get skinnier as it meets the edge. So guess what? It's very, very difficult to machine a flat in this direction that also tapers to the tip. It requires you to have another axis to your grind.
And math and like figuring out angles and stuff. That's not.
There are many makers that haven't figured out how to do that. They either can't or they won't. It's more
River's Edge Cutlery, when they were starting Hellbender, one of their biggest holdups from being able to come out with the production knife was they were particular, and they had a hard time figuring out how to make it look so the bevel was the same the whole way through. It's not just like that.
There's a really excellent folder that popped up a couple years ago with a new company. I'm not going to say who, but their distal taper doesn't taper enough. And so when you look at their edges, there's always a fat spot at the tip. And it was pointed out to me once by somebody because I was bragging about the line. And they were like, they pointed it out. And I went, oh, man, now I see it every time I look at them. So they're going to have to innovate that a little bit and figure out how to build that taper a little more taper so that they can fix it. But yeah, and it's not even, that's not a flaw. It's fine. I think we get a little too cork sniffy about this stuff. What about Todd Heater?
I was gonna say I don't think I've seen it. I might have actually sharpened a heater a long time ago. That would
sharpened a Todd Heater. Was it the one with the
No, it wasn't. It was just a really bad Medford.
grenade pin?
No, it was just a Medford I was thinking of. That's one I don't think I've had the pleasure of.
Alex talking through that stuff is amazing to hear, and I still can't wrap my head around it. I'm not sure what he means. The distal taper stuff.
One of my favorite comments I ever got on one of my Edge videos was I did a CRK Tonto mirror, and the guy was like all up in my stuff saying I ruined the knife because how fat the tip got and how it does this. And I'm like, normally on some knives you would say that, but this is supposed to look all crazy.
You know, I have one Tanto.
Yeah.
And I did it a while ago before I knew what I was doing. And I'm okay with it, but I don't love it. And this knife's been on a tour for a while because of the finish on the handle. So I've sent it to a few people to get checked out. Yeah. And the tip is basically like a satin, but even as I hold it up right now, I can see there's some shiny bits in it. Mm-hmm. So I'm so glad to have it back so I can avenge myself.
Those are fun. Those are fun to do. It's so much about dialing in the precise angle on the tip, and they're not all the same. They're between 16 and 17 usually, but they're not all the same.
Yep. Well, that's very surprising to me. I've never found a dull ProTech. So interesting. If you need it sharpened, he's right there. Tom. Premier on.
I haven't got to do a mirrored CRK yet with like all of my stones, because like my mirrors look good. They look good, but now they look really crispy. So I'm happy to try some out.
Hey, Greg, are you down for the Indy 1500 on January 9? I think Rich Cox is going to come down, and we can walk the show and have fun. Already sharpened it. Applied Tom's tip.
You know, this has been. I got blown up for this, and I wasn't trying to like cause an unpopular opinion type post, but I don't carry a knife in my pocket that much anymore because my knives are right there. But this is the knife that follows me around the house because I got like 5 of them. And these have just been my go-to for the last several months. Is I keep a Dragonfly on my desk and it opens up all the knife boxes that come in, and I keep 3 of them on my kitchen countertop, and they open all the Amazon Christmas boxes and everything. The amount of deliveries we've been getting is obscene, but it's Christmas time. I'll just go with that. But these are just such a useful knife for opening a box without stabbing the contents of it, what's inside said box, too deeply. So this has been my go-to. And I carry a pair of 3 every once in a while when I go places, but I'm a stay-at-home dad, and the only place I usually go is pick up my son from school. And not that long ago, I was like, I don't care. I'll just carry a knife to school. No one's going to say anything, which is fine. Then I saw a guy carrying a 6-inch fixed blade on his hip to school, and I'm like, if he can do it, I can probably do it. But I felt uncomfortable. It was so big. I was like, this guy's trying to show off. But yeah, it's just, I don't carry a knife all the time anymore. So just grabbing a Dragonfly has been super convenient, having them all over the place.
Reese knows. He knows. It's just too good, he says. It sounds like I'm bullshitting when I talk about how good this knife is, and I've been reluctant to compare it to its peers, but this knife belongs in the conversation with other knives in its price point. It belongs in the conversation with those other big dog American manufacturers that are doing good shit. It belongs in that conversation. The other thing that I haven't really talked about much, Tom, it's a washer knife.
Oh yeah, I like that.
It's on
I like
washers. Man, it's funny. You think bearings are better, and then you get a really good washer knife, and you go, they're not better.
Yeah, like the feel of
dialed-in washer knife just feels different.
Floppiness, bearings can make things flippity floppity easier, but it also has that feeling like it's rolling on balls. It doesn't feel like it's sliding and smooth and perfectly dialed in. Like to make a good washer knife,
we're one Torx fuck up from ruining the knife, but driving the bearings into the blade. You know what I mean? So with washers, you don't have to worry about that.
This is funny. So I got destroyed a couple months ago when I was complaining about how someone taped up a box, but sometimes people ship me knives that's like they're smuggling cocaine, and it's pretty common. That's part of why I like using a Dragonfly, because when it's taped up and then taped to the inside of the box and I have to like slice it out, I've done it enough times. It's not the end of the world. But you'd be amazed at some of the things that come in, and then you'll get it open and it's like a Kershaw. It's more about just the worry of scratching. It's a worry about scratching a knife with my knife while I cut it out of the box. And usually when it goes back, goes back in my own shipping because their box is destroyed, and it's just kind of a waste. And then I have a big pile of shredded cardboard and junk and tape and whatever.
The angriest I ever got was somebody took a Ziploc bag and dropped a knife into it, and then they rolled it up and then they wrapped it in shipping tape. So the shipping tape was right on the bag, and you couldn't pull the tape off the bag, and you couldn't open the bag without cutting it open. And cutting it open meant potentially scratching the knife. And it wasn't my knife. Like I needed to be able to return it to the owner. So I was furious. I had to very carefully, surgically like cut along the spine of the knife where I could get a knife into the shit to cut it open. I was really upset. Like it bothered me that I could potentially damage this guy's knife.
Yes.
Chris makes drugs in the shape of a knife. That's pretty good. Hey, by the way, that's worth mentioning. That kid started making scales at like 22.
Yeah.
I mean, kid, he was making scales. And he told, you know what he told me, Tom? He goes, I was customer number 8 for scales. He goes, you
Oh, wow.
believed in me when no one gave a crap. I was making scales. So I got scales number 8 and I got knife number 10. I missed 10-ish or so. But yeah, I couldn't be more proud of the guy. You know, he taught himself how to make some of the best scales in the game. I wish there was a way that he could continue making these because they're so good. And then after that, he moved on to fixies and he makes phenomenal fixed blades, and now he's making folders. I couldn't be happier for him. He's not even, I think he's 28.
Crazy.
Just a young pup.
That's what's interesting about, like, there's no path. There's no, like, you go to college and then you graduate to knife designer. You just have to do it yourself, and you have to figure this shit out. And
sometimes you meet guys that fuck you over, and sometimes you meet guys that will tell you all the secrets that they know. And right now, Chris is on a run where he's got a really good group of people around him that give him selfless advice, and they help him, and they, you know, he's got a tribe that can help him stay on course. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 28, I barely knew what I was doing with my life. And he makes, in my opinion, one of the best pry bars out there. If you like pry bars still.
You know what I like about this pry bar? I don't own one, but I like the fact that it's made of steel, not titanium.
3V steel is tough as shit. Works great. You can really pry with it. So he did that too. Anyway, Team Chris.
Very cool. Well,
so guys, just to wrap it up on the Tiger, the satin finishes are done. Happy surprise. We have Warncliffes and standard blades coming for the PM2. It's going to be orange G10. There's a couple features on the knife we're not going to tell you about until the pictures come out. And the blade steel is a secret, but I promise you're going to be intrigued. So that'll be coming too. My throat is starting to hurt real bad because I burned it on some nuclear hot chocolate at the Christmas market. So
that sounds painful.
Yeah, it's fun. Some point between now and January, Tom and I should have samples. We're going to come live with Jeff Loffer, and we're going to talk about the Tiger, and then the drop for the satins should happen in January, and there will be some DLC ones coming TBD after that. So they built the satins first, and they're going to build the DLCs. But there's going to be a lot of Tiger talk, a lot of orange going on in the group, it all ties together, guys. There's a theme to this. There's a reason why we went with orange on black on the hoodies. So, yeah, Spyderco Millie Club is finally going to be delivering our knife. I think if we do another one afterwards, Tom, we should do a Dragonfly or a
Something
Pochi.
Something different.
Can we do a Pochi but make it a Taigi?
Yeah, put some stripes on it. It's already got stripes, kind of, doesn't it?
I bet the designer that did the Pochi has a Tiger.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So yeah, if you have something to sell to free up a little money, I think you're going to want it. You're going to want it. When you see it, you're going to want to probably leave it stock. You might want scales for it, but I think this is going to be one of those knives where, you know, like the diamond cut green model that they put out a while ago.
The diamond arc, yeah.
The diamond arc, like that was novel. And like if you like that knife, you liked it because of the diamond arc. And I think this would be a knife that guys are going to leave alone.
If you like the diamond arc, you got tougher hands than I, for sure. This is not going to be quite that experience.
I don't know in the price. I have some hopes, but I don't want to promise anything. So we don't know yet on the price. Stay tuned for more news on that.
Dream big. That's all I'll say. Just dream big.
Yeah. Some of you have figured it out. All right. Tom, can we wrap it up?
Yeah. I guess it's just been a minute since we've had a show. And I would just like to say thank you all for making the group really fun. Because I'm at home all day. I get to see everything that's going on at the group. It keeps me entertained. And the group's been a really active, engaging place. It's been really popping off. And just keep it up. Like, it's really cool. Like, it used to be not used like getting 100 likes on a post. It used to doesn't happen a lot, but it happens all the time now. And seeing how engaged people get in just whatever I put a post up that said post your pets the other day, and it has like 500 pictures of cats in it. And there's some people that went through there and like loved every single photo. And I think it's really cool. So I just wanted to thank you guys for, giving me something to do all day. So you guys make the group fun for me. So keep it up, keep engaged, and tune in to the next episode of FFIB when we can hopefully make everything official and make your dreams come
Stay
true.
tuned for more news. We'll let you know in the group when the next show is going to come up. By the way, cannons and cutlery, we need to get you on the show. We talked about it at Blade and it hasn't happened yet. Let's figure it out. Be fun to have you on. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying tuned. Thanks for being a part of the club. We will talk to you next time. Until then, stay moist.
Moist.
Stay moist.